So you never know when we'll be live here on the pages over the next week or so, because we got to get some stuff going. All right, we're good. So we are going to talk with Jay over in Illinois tonight about a fun trip from March. I don't know a whole lot about it, so we're going to all learn together. I can't wait. All right, so sit back. This is for a week from Monday. Here we go. Dog sleeping right now? Good deal. Okay. Welcome to episode 1927 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're off today. Of course, yesterday was the 4th of July. More importantly, that I hope you're off, but more importantly, as it goes where I live, where it's one of the very few areas in the state of Missouri where fireworks are legal. And there's a fireworks stand on every corner, has been for the last month. I hope y'all have all your digits left today as you listen to the show, because I'm telling you what, we bought enough fireworks this year and had a display last night that rivaled Illuminations on New Year's Eve. That's how we do it around here. If it's legal, it's go big or go home. And that's what we did. So hopefully you had a great Independence Day. We love this country, and happy birthday to the USA. So we are going to do something that is about as patriotic as we can get. We're talking about Walt Disney World. So we're heading over to Illinois, just to my east, Dwight, Illinois, and we have Jay joining us. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, Mike. How's it going tonight?
That's going great. We got to talk baseball for about 15 minutes before we started recording, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah. You can't beat the season right now. I know your Cardinals are struggling right now, but hopefully a couple of weeks when this goes live, they're back in the race.
That's right. Who knows? And let me ask you this. Okay, so you're a baseball man. You've spent your life in the game. Yadier Molina. Definite Hall of Famer, first ballot, right? Come on.
100%. 100% first ballot.
Had to ask him the important question here. I agree. He's just an amazing ball player. All right, we're not going to talk baseball because I could do that all night. You guys know that. We're going to talk Walt Disney World. But before we jump into your trip from March, where you went down with your sweet little daughter, 11 months old at the time, that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. Give me some of your background with Disney. Did you grow up with it? When did you go for the first time? How do you end up listening to a Disney podcast?
So we went, I think when I was, I don't know, we were real young. My parents took us back when we were 13 years old, 12, 13 years old, went to Walt Disney World. We stayed in the cabins. Probably the coolest thing when we were kids was be able to do the s'mores and hang around the campfire, even though we could have done that back in Iowa where I'm from. But that was just a fun time for us. We went to Disneyland for a day when we were out visiting, the West Coast when I was younger. Didn't really start getting into it until I met my wife. After college, we were both coaching at Illinois State. She was coaching softball, I was coaching baseball. We got engaged, decided we wanted to take a trip, and decide on Walt Disney World. We're not really beach goers. We can't just sit on a beach and just hang out for, a weekend or whatever. So had a great long weekend there. And then that kind of just triggered it. We had a great time, decided, hey, let's do our honeymoon there. Went back for our honeymoon. We did a split stay. We did our beach club, went on a Disney cruise, and then came back and did Animal Kingdom Lodge to finish off the trip. It was, that was an expensive honeymoon, but it was a great honeymoon.
I just doing it right, man. Bookend, and I do the same thing. I don't always do 2 deluxes on both ends. It'll be more like a Pop Century the night before the cruise, and then we'll stay at Coronado for one night. You did it right.
I was suckered into that because at the time, like I said, I was kind of a newbie to the Disney stuff, and my wife was like, hey, our travel agent, they can upgrade us or whatever to a better resort. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. Then I saw the bill after we got back. I'm like, oh yeah, yes, that's why the bank account looks like it does. But we had a great time there. We went back. When we found out we were pregnant, we stayed for a long weekend at Pop Century, did the baby pictures, with my wife, with the belly and stuff in front of the castle. Went on another Disney cruise after that, went back last year in 2020. So, it's just been a yearly thing for us to keep going back, and it's home for us.
Oh man, we all get it. And that's a great backstory there. How you've kind of developed the trips there and the great stuff. Let me ask you about Disney Cruise Line really quick, because you got your Disney Cruise Line hat on. Yep. I haven't talked Disney Cruise and it feels like 10 years. What are some of your favorite things about a cruise? What did you enjoy about the cruises maybe that you didn't expect?
Just the convenience of everything. I've never been on a cruise. I've never cruised anything else other than Disney. My wife, she'd been on a couple before with, different cruise lines and whatnot. But um, I mean, just be able to go up on top deck and, hey, I'm gonna grab a slice of pizza. Hey, I'm gonna get an ice cream cone. Hey, I'm gonna go get some chicken fingers. I mean, I love to eat. My wife, she likes to eat, but she's not like me where, hey, it's free food to me. Let's go over there. Let's go get a slice of pizza while we're walking by, and so there's great food on there. There's great entertainment. We just have a good time. We enjoy just sitting on the deck and watching the Disney movies. We'll go back to the adults only area, have a drink, maybe read a book, hang out. It's just a fun time. And we're really itching to get back on a Disney cruise. We've been looking at 2022 and we want to get back.
Man, me too. I've been, my daughter Mallory's like, when are we going to cruise? I'm like, Mallory, the cruises are not sailing right now. We can't do anything about it. Like, it's not me, like, it's not that I don't want to go. We will eventually. And because she's kind of grown up on the ships. She's spoiled. I didn't get to cruise when I was an adult, but yeah, she's almost platinum. It's sad. What's funny though, is because you're a baseball fan, so am I. And what I enjoy in the cruises are kind of the small, like, activities they have in the bars and the little lounges and stuff. And one of the cruises, actually one of our podcast cruises, they did a kind of like a sabermetrics baseball simulation where you drafted players, and then it was like all time too. It was, not just one era. And, then they did kind of a simulation and you had like a winner, and it was like a sped up fantasy league basically. But, something I had never done with that kind of format with statistics in baseball. And there's a lot of that stuff. One time we were on during the World Cup and they played some kind of game that's popular in Europe with little stand-up soccer players, and the ball gets, it's kind of like that old, I don't know, you might remember this. When I was a kid, I had a football game that was like a big metal football field. Put players out and everything. It was kind of like that. Like, it's big in Europe. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's probably not. But I mean, it's stuff like that, right? I mean, and I'm with you, man. I can get those pizza back at the back of the ship, 11 o'clock at night. I always know when that window is going to close because I'm there like 5 minutes before.
Yeah, we're big popcorn fans, so we're always trying to get the popcorn bucket filled up there. We'll go to see the movies, and yeah, it's just real relaxing to get on the ship. And I never knew they did the baseball sabermetrics. I have to check it out, see if they do it on another one.
Yeah, we did it in O'Gill's on the Fantasy. I think it was pretty cool. So hopefully they do that again. I think it's probably just up to the cruise director staff, but we had a lot of fun with that. Okay, let me ask you one other thing, then we're gonna hop into the trip. 50th anniversary coming up October 1st, Walt Disney World. You get to bring back one thing: a ride, a show, a parade, some kind of a promotion. What are you going to bring back from the past?
I knew I should have done my research and thought about this a little bit more. Can I say Walt? Can he come back?
That would be awesome.
I'll bring Walt back. I would. Maybe not me pick his brain, but someone else pick his brain to see what he thinks of how the parks have done. Like if he likes how the atmosphere is, how the cast members are, and I think he'd be pretty proud of how it is. And I don't know, that's maybe cliche, but it'd be cool to see what his viewpoint would be on it.
I agree. I mean, yeah, that's actually a great answer, because I'd love to get his feedback, because I'm sure in many ways Walt Disney World exceeds his wildest dreams at this point. But
oh yeah,
maybe he had something like, oh my gosh, it was such a basic thing and it's not even here yet. It's been 50 years and nobody's developed it. I love Diane in our live chat. She says dining plans. She's practical. She's like, just bring back dining plans. What do you get? Very practical. She also likes to eat, apparently, down to Disney. Don't we all? That's why we go. Okay, so let's hop into your trip report. You guys went down in March. So tell us kind of about the planning. Like, why'd you stay where you stayed, and how'd you put it all together? Why'd you go in March?
So I coach high school baseball. The season this year, due to COVID, was pushed back a little bit. So it wasn't until April start. So we just decided to go right before my wife and I, we wanted to make sure we felt comfortable bringing our daughter down there. And we talked to some friends, people in the medical field that we're friends with and stuff. And they said, don't worry about it. Just do the basic things that you guys have been doing and you guys will be fine. And so we decided, hey, let's book a trip. We had nice promotions going on, so we did a split stay with Yacht Club in Grand Floridian. It was, would not book the Grand Floridian again. We can maybe get into that a little bit later, but it was a decent price, and we wanted to try it out, so we stayed there for 2 nights at the end of the trip, and it was just a great time. My daughter was 11 months old at the time, so it was my wife, myself, and her, and went down for a full week right around the spring break time. So
Cool. Well, let me ask you this: for folks that are considering going with a child about the same age as your daughter, how was travel, especially given the circumstances? With all the precautions, the distancing, all that stuff. I assume you guys flew down, or you guys drive?
we flew.
Okay. So how was travel with an infant at that age during that time?
She was great. We splurged a little bit. We decided to buy her own seat on the plane, so we could bring the car seat, let her sit in there, take a nap. We tried booking a flight around the time she would be, napping in the morning and stuff. So we tried to do some of those things to make it a little easier on her. She was great on both plane rides, honestly, on the way down and the way back. We couldn't have asked. I mean, she's an easy baby to take care of anyways, but it was just it was very easy for us the whole time. Napping during the day, we go back, midday, let her take a nap and stuff, but she was it was pretty simple. I didn't think it would be that easy, and I was honestly preparing for the worst, but she was great.
The funny thing is, I remember when Mallory was at it, we took her at 6 months, and then but we always drove back then because I was scared to death to fly back in those days. And so we had a Trailblazer. The Trailblazer's small now. They just came out with it a couple, I think this year, but it used to be a big old SUV. And then we pulled a trailer behind that thing. We had everything when she was a baby because babies have so much stuff. So did you have any issues with getting all the stuff that your daughter needed down there? I guess not. I mean, was it a challenge? You buy stuff down there? How'd that go?
We did do a grocery delivery. We did an Amazon delivery to Yacht Club, so we brought enough diapers for the plane and stuff like that, some wipes, but we ordered all that stuff when we got down there, and any extras we had, we just left at the hotel. And that was great. We ordered baby food at the time because she wasn't eating, the stuff that we're eating now, like she is. We ordered everything that she really could need down there, had delivered to the hotel. Super easy. Went straight to guest service at the front, and we just picked up from there, and it was great. It made it very simple for us.
Good. Great tips though for folks that are looking to go down for the first time with their child. That's good stuff there. All right. So tell us about some of the highlights of the trip. When you look back on the trip a couple of months back, you guys stayed at Yacht Club. It's pretty awesome. So anything special over there? How was the room? Did you guys get to go to Stormalong Bay?
Yeah, so we ended up paying for a standard view, but where we were situated, we actually had a view of Crescent Lake. So it was, it felt like an upgrade to us. The room, honestly, I didn't think it was going to be that nice, because we stayed over at Beach Club. I prefer the Yacht Club side, just the colors over there, the wood floors, the dark wood floors, like it looks very nice, very clean. We had a great view. Went to Stormalong Bay twice on our honeymoon, which we made this mistake. We stayed at Beach Club, like I said. We didn't even go into Stormalong Bay.
Oh, killing me. You're killing me.
We were there for five nights. We didn't even go into Stormalong Bay. Oh. And so, this trip, we made sure we had time to go over there. We enjoyed the pool there. At that time, they were doing, you had check-in at one point.
Yep.
They were giving out wristbands, to make sure that, if that you were actually staying there, and we never had to wait for it. We saw during the morning time, there was a couple of times that there was people waiting outside the fence to get in. But we never had to wait. Everyone had a chair in there. We enjoyed the slide. I probably went down it 10 different times.
I was with all the time. That's a great slide.
I was with all the little kids. I was the grown up with all the little kids going down the slide. I kept running up there like a 5-6-year-old. So it was a great time. We had a fun time over there.
That's a great slide. I think it's called the Flying Jib. I go down there thinking, hey, I'll be down there and just, hey, we'll go down tomorrow as this comes out. So you'll see, look out, kids. The 6'3" going down that slide. Don't get in my way because I got to have my fun too. I'm paying the bill. Those kids, your parents, get out of the way. No, there's a little slide for the kids. They can get off, the steps and go around that little slide. Okay. So now you guys went down, you guys had the split stay. Had you done a split before? Because I think a lot of times you got to kind of plan for that split as to how, You don't want to tear everything out at the first hotel. At least that's what we do. We're staying at 3 different hotels this time. Anything like that? How'd the split work out for you?
So I honestly, with all the stuff we ended up buying down there, I would not suggest doing that with, like with our daughter, being 11 months old. It just, there's too much stuff to pack up and move over to a new hotel for 2 nights. It was great. It ended up working out, it was okay. But for people going down, that'd just be a suggestion is I would stay at one place if your kids are that young. But we ended up taking an Uber over to Grand Floridian when we swapped over. The room was actually ready. I think we got there about 9 o'clock in the morning, and they had a room ready for us already, which was great because we went out, dropped our stuff off, and went over to Magic Kingdom. But that was the reason we did it. We stayed away from Magic Kingdom while we were over at Yacht Club, and then we just did that the last 2 days we were there over at Grand Floridian. So made it easy for us.
That's the way to do it too, especially with a child, because you can get back if you need to really quickly. You mentioned earlier that the Grand, wasn't something that you might not do again. So what was the situation over there? Is there a reason? Was it just the extra 2 nights at the end of a split, or was there anything else?
I just thought for the Grand Floridian being the flagship hotel of Walt Disney World, it didn't live up to my expectations. The pool was great. The lobby's awesome. The quick service is good, but you get into the room and you're kind of like, this is the Grand Floridian. That's kind of how I felt when we walked in the room. I thought our room over at the Yacht Club was nicer than there. Now, we did take a tour of the DVC villas at the Grand Floridian. That's a whole nother story. Those villas over there are spectacular. So I just thought for the price point of what we were paying there, I would have rather spent, that money over at the Yacht Club for, $100 cheaper a night and be able to spend that money on some more Mickey bars or something.
And then never the wrong answer. I will say, I feel exactly what you're saying, because the Grand Floridian's, regular rooms, they haven't gone through a refurb recently, where even say you stay at Coronado Springs, Pop Century is a good example. Even All-Star Movies at this point, they're going through these rooms. They're really freshening them up. They're putting in lots of outlets for recharging your devices, lots of storage cubicles and stuff like that, where the Grand Floridian still has that kind of, because I stayed there for a media event a couple years back, and it's a nice room. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like the updated, fresh kind of very efficient type room that we're seeing. Like you said, Yacht Club, those rooms have been updated in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and that was where the room was nice. Don't get me wrong, the room was very, very nice. But over at Yacht Club, they had cubbies for this, cubbies for that. There's storage over here. You can throw your luggage underneath the bed. There's a lot of it. Just made everything, all the baby stuff, kind of go away over at the Yacht Club, because there's places to put it. At Grand Floridian, it was just sitting on the red couch, over in the corner. So
I remember
it was just a lot of clutter. It felt like.
I got you. No, I've totally been there. All right, so let's talk about times in the theme park. So looking back, like, what stories do you have? What stuck out as memories you guys made in the theme park? Something maybe that surprised you? What'd you guys do?
I was able to get 2 Rise boarding passes, 2 separate days. We were in the 20s both days. I don't know if it was just dumb luck. I don't know what it was. I did watch.
No rhyme or reason, I swear. Like, some people don't get them, some do. Why? I don't know. Just you got lucky.
I watched some different YouTube videos on, hey, turn this off your device, turn that off your device. Use Wi-Fi, don't use Wi-Fi, world clock, this and that. I think I psyched myself out more than anything, because I ended up doing a couple of the tricks, but just at 7 o'clock, I had my wife's phone next to me with the world clock, and then I would just hit, accepted both the, I saw both of us were already in there, and just confirm, and we were in the 20s both days. So my wife the second day didn't ride because our daughter was getting a little fussy, so she left. So I actually got to rise 3 times in the 2 days we were at Hollywood Studios. So that was a highlight of my trip for sure.
People are upset right now with you. The people that didn't.
I know it probably makes it worse that I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. So I'm sure some people are going to be writing in telling you, get this guy off the show.
Jay, you're making it worse. Just stop. was bad. Now it's getting worse. Okay, don't email me. Okay, no, that's awesome though that you got them. Did you do it from inside the hotel room or did you go? Because I'm always nervous wreck. Like I run in the mornings, and so I usually get as far. The last couple of times I've been at Caribbean Beach, and they have terrible reception. And I don't know if those walls are made out of steel or what. But I make sure like I'm way out in the middle by the lake, and who knows if that matters. But were you in the room and able to get them?
So the first morning I was in the room. The second morning I was actually finishing up our laundry, and so I walked out by Crescent Lake because I was right outside there. And like I said, both times it worked. I don't know. The second time when I was outside was actually the later. I had 28 in that one. The first one we were at 21. So again, I don't know if it really matters, but it ended up working both days.
I've never gotten lower than 68. That's the lowest I've ever had. I've done it 4 times and 68. Wow. I mean, but I'm just thankful. Like as long as I get one, it's cool. Cool. I'll just go in the afternoon. Yeah, that's why I look at it. All right. So what about taking your daughter around the parks? What do you remember? Because at that age, I mean, they can, gosh, Mallory's 13. It seems like she was just a baby not that long ago, but what did she enjoy that you perceive that she enjoyed? Because obviously she won't remember any of this. This is for you guys, but what do you remember about it?
She really enjoyed, the different colors, the lights, the sounds, just some of those things that, when we're walking through, especially at nighttime, you took her through, Toy Story Land, over in Hollywood Studios at night, and you could see her eyes kind of, looking around at all the lights over there, just because everything is, you're in Andy's backyard. It just made it super cool. She loved It's a Small World. We probably should have rode that more than once, but I can only handle it about one time a trip. So I told my wife, I go, if you guys go back, great. I'll be sitting out here outside waiting for you guys after. But she liked all the music, the different dolls, in there. It just a lot of the stuff that triggered her senses that just made it. She just enjoyed seeing those sights and sounds.
So were you guys able to get to the parks like at rope drop, or did you go later in the day? How does it unfold with a young child like that?
So we used to be rope drop people, our first couple trips, because that's what everyone always told us when we were just new to going down to Disney. We were there morning until all the way at the end of the day and closed the parks down. Now with the baby, we took it a lot slower. We just didn't want to overstimulate her and make her feel out of sorts. So we would typically wake up, do something around the resort, maybe walk around, go get something to eat, then come back, let her, take a quick nap, and then we head to the park. So we were in the parks anywhere from, 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning each time. So it wasn't really a huge, it wasn't really a bad thing for us. We wanted her to feel comfortable.
That's a good idea. Pam Forrester, that, she's on the show the other 2 days, and she's always told me, and always given this tip is that if you have a young child, and this is like all the way through probably elementary school, if they have a typical schedule at home, like when, if they nap at 2:00 in the afternoon at home all the time, do that at Walt Disney World, leave the park, go back and take a nap, because that'll just make your whole day better. And you're right. If you force a baby or any kind of child, I mean, I've done that, but I mean, as parents, we're guilty of this all the time. Like I would get down there and I try to wake up my 2 girls, and I mean, now they're 24 and 13. You try to get them up at 7:00 for a rope drop. I'm glad that they're older now. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'll just see, how to get on a bus. I'll see you over there. Cause if you want to stand in lines, more power to you. I'm going to ride rides before you even get there. So it's funny though, because you do have to think about who you're traveling with and the overall goal, right? I mean, is it worth doing 3 extra rides, but having a miserable baby? And then, your wife's going to be upset because the baby's upset. You're upset. You got to think about it's vacation. It's not about a quantitative thing. Like I want to get 17 rides done today.
Well, so we had a bunch of sit down meals planned. So we had Cinderella's Royal Table. We had Be Our Guests. We had all sorts of stuff planned. Then the first day we were there, we did 50s Prime Time, and we love 50s Prime Time. That's kind of our thing. When we go back to Hollywood Studios, it feels like you're back in Grandma's kitchen. It's just a great time. Our daughter, she did great until like the last 15 minutes, and she started to get real fussy. And it's like, well, we're not quite done yet. So my wife and I were like, okay, maybe we should just stick to the quick service stuff. So we kind of changed some plans. Now we did keep a couple of them. We did Topolino's for dinner. We wanted to try that out. We did Beaches and Cream because we've been trying to get Beaches and Cream forever.
Get that ADR. I'm dying for that ADR in sci-fi.
I was stalking the reservations trying to get one, and we finally got one. And I was like, I'm not giving this one up. We're not giving this one up. So we went there. I overate. We walked around Epcot after that. Still felt terrible. It was a great time, but the No Way Jose really got to me.
Oh my God. The worst I've ever felt at Walt Disney World was because of Beaches and Cream. It was when Paige was 7. Again, she's 24 now. We took her best friend Molly with us for a week. And so we went down, and they'd have been wanting to ride one of those Surrey bikes, right? Those, the bikes that I don't know if they have them right now, but you've seen them, right? You ride those little pedal bikes that look like almost like cars.
Yep.
Across the lake. So we get to Beaches and Cream. We ate at like 8:00 at night. This is over the summer. Cause my wife and I are both teachers. And so I ate like a burger, fries, and then of course you had to have ice cream for dessert. I think I split a No Way Jose with my wife. Just like you, I ate so much. I was so uncomfortable. And then we walk outside. It's like, still 85, 90 degrees, 100% humidity. And they're like, you said we could ride a bike. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. So then we rent that Surrey bike, and I'd never done one of those things. That thing's like as heavy as a Volkswagen. Those two ding dongs were 7. They couldn't reach the pedals. We had a 4-seater. So it's just my wife and I pedaling this. It's like a car, and they have those hills at either end of the lake. Oh my God. I was like, I might die tonight. I'm like, I'm going to die going around this lake on a Surrey bike. It's going to be like some tragic story. But yeah, but that happens to me all the time at Walt Disney World. The last time that happened to me was at Homecoming. You ever been to Homecoming? I bet you'd like that.
Yes, we went there. That was during our honeymoon. We went to Homecoming. That was, gosh, I felt so bad after that. It was such good food, but I was like, we got to get back to the room. I got to lay down. I can't walk around Disney Springs anymore. I got to get back to the room.
That's exactly.
It was a great meal. Don't get me wrong. It was a great meal, but we had to go.
That's what I tell people, because I work with a lot of folks who try to decide where they want to eat and stuff like that. We're going back and forth. Like, Homecoming is awesome, especially if you like food. Like I like my grandma made the best food. It reminds me of my grandma's food. She'd always make deviled eggs and biscuits and all that good Southern food. But I'm not kidding. I have no discipline. I go there, I eat so much that the same way. I just gotta go back to the room. Like you would think everybody's like, walk it off. Just walk around Disney Springs. I'm past that point. I can't. Like I'm out. I just give me a nap. And it was like
I'm gonna interrupt. Our honeymoon, 10 days. I fluctuate weight really bad. I gained 10 pounds in 10 days on our honeymoon. We ate. Let me tell you, when we go down, we eat really well. We snack all day. That was, I after I got home, I was like, I gotta get back to working out. I can't keep this weight on.
People ask me why I run on my Disney vacation. That is exactly why. I get up at 5 a.m. and run a few miles, and that way it doesn't counter everything, but it counters a little bit. Bars, maybe. I don't know. It makes me mentally feel better. Okay, so what about a couple other things? Like, did you guys go to all 4 parks while you were there?
Yeah, we went to all 4 parks. We tried splitting up as best we could. Like I said, we went to Magic Kingdom twice, went to Hollywood Studios twice. We went to Animal Kingdom only one day. It was raining that day. We actually only got on 2 rides. There wasn't much going on. We did Everest. We did Rider Swap there, that was the best thing we've ever done. The Rider Swap was awesome. We went to the Safari. That line was wrapping around. You had to wrap through the Festival of the Lion King. That was super weird. My sister, actually, she worked at Disney. She was part of the college program, and she was stationed at the Lion King show. And so the last time I'd been there she was actually seeing us, and then we go back and we're wrapping our line through the middle of the arena. And I sent her a picture. I'm like, this is a big change from the last time we were here, and I had a good laugh about that. But Epcot we went to a couple different times because it's food and wine, so we enjoy walk around, try some different things. We had a couple of different food booths. Had a couple of nice drinks walking around. It was just a relaxing trip. We didn't really have too many plans like before. Like I said, we would be there from park open to park closed, try to do every ride we could. But this trip, we just wanted to take it slow and kind of see everything. And let our daughter just have fun in the stroller, look around at different stuff, and we'd stop if there's something we like want to stop and see. We just stop and look, and not rush around. So it was nice to take it a little slower than we had in the past.
Right, because I think some people get this is going to sound weird saying this, but they get frustrated when they've gone as a couple or gone, pre-kids, and then you go back when you have a young child that everything's different. But I'll tell you what, looking back at the big picture of all the trips I've taken, the ones where Mallory was little, where we could not, there was no, and also the one on our first honeymoon where my wife was pregnant with Mallory, we were going so slow. They were some of the best trips. We didn't do a lot. You look back and say, well, what did you do? Well, a lot of it was, long meals, snacks, sitting on benches, watching shows, or watching back in the day Streetmosphere, all the stuff that we were always hustling past to get to Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster. And when I look back at those trips, I'm like, God, those were the best trips. And we didn't technically do a lot, but we were on vacation. I mean, because I always come home, I'm exhausted. And I wasn't that time. For once.
Yeah, that was probably the best thing. Was we felt actually when we came home, we felt relaxed. We felt like because like you said, when we used to get back, it was like, I need a vacation from this vacation. I need a day or two back at home just to sit at home, sit on the couch, just not do anything. But this trip, it was just great. We just had a good time. We enjoyed the pools, like I said. Grand Floridian's got a great pool. We did some DVC tours. I don't know if we're ever going to buy, but just seeing the villas was just fun. We popped over the Riviera, did one of those, did the Grand Floridian one, did the Polynesian. I mean, it was fun to just walk around and do some of those. And those cast members that do those, they don't push you at all to try to buy. They just want to see how you're doing on your trip. Just have it, and it's like having a conversation about what you're doing. So it was fun.
Did they still do the free ice cream thing? Because I know there's no fast passes now. I used to get fast passes too.
No, but we brought our Dole Whip with us over at the Poly. We walked over to the Poly, grabbed some Dole Whip, and the guy was standing at the stand. I'm like, hey, can we go see a bungalow? I just want to see one and take a picture of the inside. I'll never be able to afford to stay in one of these. And he's like, yeah, come on, let's go. So he took us down there. We were eating our Dole Whip on the outside. I sat down and looked at Magic Kingdom on the balcony. I was like, hey, this is the closest I'm going to get to staying here, so might as well enjoy it.
You take a picture, you post it on Facebook, man. Everybody thinks you're living the life. That's what you
I know.
got to do. One other thing I would ask you about was transportation, and you kind of solved that issue to where you didn't have to worry a lot about Disney transportation, because when you were at Yacht Club, I guess you guys were focused on Epcot and the studios. You could walk to either. And then when you're over at the Grand Floridian, you're just right next door to the Magic Kingdom. So was transportation an issue for you guys at all during the trip?
No, that was part of the reason we did book those two hotels, was so we could walk to, like you said, the two Hollywood Studios and Epcot. We knew we had to take a bus to Animal Kingdom. That was obvious, but we only did that for the one day, which was fine. But the other times, yeah, it was great. Just being able to enjoy the walk. We like the walk from Beach Club, Yacht Club area over to Hollywood Studios. It's relaxing. It's nice. We rode the Skyliner a couple of times over there just to break it up a little bit and give the legs a rest. And we're big fans of the Skyliner, so it's a ride in itself. And we just enjoy going over past the Riviera, over the Caribbean beach, and just seeing the sights from the air up there. So yeah, those were easy. We enjoyed the new walkway from the Grand Floridian. We did that a couple times. Super easy. That was why we did the transportation. That was it was a good decision on our part to do those two resorts for us.
You're right. I mean, that's exactly why we're staying at 3. I mean, just Pop Century for one night. But the reason I picked the 3 that we have is exactly that. I mean, because you remember you booked these things so far in advance. When I booked this vacation, there was still all the physical distancing was still in place. The masks were still in place, all that stuff. So, I was thinking about it in Pop Century, Skyliner, and then Yacht Club. Okay, I can walk to Epcot, like I said, walk to Epcot in the studios, Caribbean Beach, or at the Skyliner hub. So then I can catch a Skyliner to 2 parks. So, I tried to make it so we have alternate. The buses are fine, but I mean, when they weren't loading them, and they're still not loading them fully, it is more of a challenge. So you try to just take as many variables out of the equation as you can. And so, just kind of cross your fingers and make a good plan, which sounds like you guys exactly did that.
Yeah, we definitely the one time we had to take the bus, like I said, was to Animal Kingdom, and it felt like we were out there for an hour. It was raining. Every time a bus showed up, it would switch over to Magic Kingdom. Next bus would show up, Magic Kingdom, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was only us and one other couple that was waiting for the bus, and we're like, we're never gonna get a bus, are we? We might as well just go back in the room and change and try to go over to Epcot later today. But I mean, like I said, it was just one day for the transportation for the buses. We've always had good luck with, we stayed at Pop Century before. Pop's always been real easy for us to catch any bus from there, and it was just probably just our luck that morning that there's just not enough buses running for Animal Kingdom. So
yeah, it happens. Every time, man. It's like I've seen 3 Epcot buses. I just want to go to the studios. Like if you're a podcast, come on now, what's going on? Anyway, so let me ask you one last thing before we get out of here, because you've been there before all these COVID changes. Was there anything that was, hard for you, something unexpected? Because you guys were there when the mask mandate was fully in place. Right? Was it still in March? Yeah, it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you mean? Was it difficult? Was any for me, it's really, I think the thing that's hardest for me is like, I used to just walk into any counter service restaurant and grab what I wanted. I was starting to get used to mobile order a little bit before the pandemic because it was a kind of a quick way to get your food faster than everybody else. It was like a little hack. But now you got to kind of start to think ahead a little bit when it comes to, quick service dining and the mask deal. So what was different for you and how did you guys feel about that?
Well, that was the biggest thing. Actually, you kind of nailed on the head. Was we've done mobile ordering before, but we hadn't really had to rely on it. It was more like, hey, let's walk in here and check out, what we can get. This time, I think the first day we were at Hollywood Studios, we tried a mobile order. I forgot from where we were, maybe Woody's Lunchbox, and we wanted to get something for breakfast. Well, the earliest time they had was 1:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh no, that
didn't work.
That's not good. So, that was our biggest change. Was after that first day, I kind of had to say, okay, we got to look at the menus in the morning, see what we want to do, put an order in, put a time in, and hopefully it works out with the nap schedule and everything else. But that was the biggest change for us. The mask wearing, honestly, I thought it was going to be a bigger deal because at work I don't have to wear one. My wife, she only works 1 day a week, and then she's at home, so she never really had to wear one. But honestly, after a while, the weather was decent. You really didn't notice it. But obviously, moving forward, people won't have to worry about that. But those were the two things that kind of stuck out to us. Was the mask wearing for the first day or so, and then the quick service stuff was a little difficult to manage the first day.
Yeah, same. All right. Well, before we wrap it up, what do you guys have on the horizon? Like, what's your next trip? What are you thinking?
Well, we have 2 booked right now. We have one in August. We're going to stay at the Cabins, and then we're kind of nutty. We're going to drive up to Hilton Head and stay at the Hilton Head resort. We've been wanting to try that one out. We were actually going to fly in there, and then I was like, telling my wife, why don't we just go to Disney World? And it's only 5 hours, just drive up there. So I kind of talked her into that one. So we were going to go down for the 50th. We decided to cancel that one and push that up to this trip. And then in January, we have a big family trip that we're going to go and stay at the Riviera. So,
oh man, the Riv is so nice. I mean, I act like I've stayed there a lot. I stayed there one night. I crashed on the extra bed at Scott's room because my room wasn't going to be Caribbean Beach. I was like the poor neighbor, right? He was staying at the room. I was like, I'll meet you. I'm over Caribbean Beach. I'm not a high roller, but he's DVC. So
we have a 2-bedroom villa. So if you can come stay on our the pull out again if you want.
One other thing I was going to ask you about Topolino's. You guys said you did that for dinner with a small child. Was it good? What'd you think of that real quick? Because people are going to.
Oh my gosh, that was by far. We'll be back for sure. We went up there the night before just to check it out. We sat out on the terrace out there, kind of looked over Caribbean Beach, and I was like, okay, we need to come back for dinner. So we ended up finding an ADR for the next night, and it was great. Our daughter was fine. She ate her food and she was really good for us. And I had the filet there. It was fantastic. My wife had the rigatoni. She said that it was, well, I tried some of it too. It was really good as well. But everything there was really good. It's expensive, but it's an experience. We had a great experience there. We want to do the breakfast the next time we go back. So hopefully we can find in January, hopefully we can do a breakfast there.
All right. Well, sounds good to me. And when you guys get back from that next trip, when you get back from the World Hilton Head kind of adventure, you got to hit me up because we'll have to talk again. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds good. I appreciate it, Mike. Appreciate everything you do, and we'll talk soon.
All right, and hopefully those Cardinals turn it around by the time this show comes out. Let's hope.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hopefully we're not buried by the All-Star break. Anyway, all right, hey, thank you for hanging out with us today. We appreciate that so much. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out today over at themagicforless.com. They can help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Universal. Yeah, they do Universal. I don't typically do Universal, but I do Disney Cruise Line Adventures, but I do all the Disney. I'm the Disney guy. So just drop by the magicforless.com today. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who allow us to put out 4 shows a week here on the feed. I can't thank you enough. If you'd like to get the 5th show, Mike in the Midwest, I have baseball shows on that feed sometimes. We have a good time with that. It's every Thursday. Just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Now is the time to follow me on social media because tomorrow morning we hit Frontier Airlines. Never flown Frontier before. They don't have Wi-Fi on their planes. Kind of freaking me out because I always like to have my telemetry in front of me on FlightAware. So I won't know how high we are. I won't know the speed and all that stuff. This is going to fly by faith, but I'll have it all on Instagram as soon as we hit the ground in Orlando, hopefully softly and at the right speed. But we'll be posting everything for the next 9 days on Instagram and Twitter at BRGuestMike. So give me a follow over there. Of course, subscribe to the show on YouTube and Facebook, and no live show this Sunday night because I'll be at Walt Disney World, but we'll do one when I get back. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your Monday. Thank you so much for starting your week with us. We appreciate it so much. It's been a great fun talking to Jay over at Illinois. I'm Mike from Missouri here. Have a great week. Time to get back to work, or maybe you're off today, even better. And we'll see you real soon. Thanks so much, man. That was a great show. We could have talked forever.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I think for sure I'll hit you up after we get back. I don't know how that trip's going to go, but we'll see.
Hey, man, it goes good or goes bad, it'll still make a good show.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I appreciate it.
Have you been out there before?
I have not.
Okay.
And I have a lot of people that want to go there, and I can never find availability there. They're in Vero Beach.
We found a 2-bedroom. I don't know how we found it. We found a 2-bedroom, and it's Labor Day weekend, so we're going over Labor Day weekend. So,
you a golfer? You going to play golf?
Yes. Yeah. That's basically why I want to go, is I want to play some of the golf course out there. I want to play at Disney. Haven't had a chance. I'm going to try to play when we go down before Hilton Head, but for a single player, you can only book 3 days in advance.
Really? So I used to play all the time with my grandpa in high school, like once a week, twice a week, but I haven't played in a long time. And we played in January of 2018 for Marathon Weekend. A bunch of the guys got together. We played Lake Buena Vista. Dude, that course is hard.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play Magnolia really bad.
That's what I'm playing that one on this trip. We're playing the Magnolia on the 11th of July because my buddy Scott, he's all of a sudden he's into golf. He's been playing like every day for since spring. And so he's like, we're playing golf. So it was like 4 of us that got together from the show. And I went to Top Golf on Father's Day because I haven't swung a club since we played in 2018. And because my back's all jacked up. And I was just like, God, just please tell me I can at least hit the ball straight. Like, I don't even care if I played baseball. So I used to be able to crush a ball. But, now I just realize I'm 47, dude. You're not crushing a ball anymore. Just don't embarrass yourself. I don't get up on the tee and like kill somebody. So
I know you keep calling it the Be Our Guest Open or whatever. If you actually had a golf outing, I think you would get a bunch of people to go.
I know you don't even know how many people have texted and like sent messages like, "What? Why didn't you let me know?" I'm like, dude, I'm joking. This is a joke. I'm not even in charge of this thing. Scott's just like, I signed us up to play golf. Like, and I called Phil and Wade's coming too. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, Phil and Wade are real golfers, Scott. We're playing on this hard course. Like, are you kidding me? Are you stupid? Like, this is gonna be terrible.
You guys just need to pair up, play best ball, play, and just go and have fun. That's what you gotta do.
It is gonna be crazy. Yeah, and it's it's the course that has the Mickey bunker and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so we'll have a good. I'm not gonna sweat it. It's just gonna be for fun. It's just one of those things. It's a pride thing, right? I'm always pretty good at most sports, and golf is so dang hard. Like, it's just, I feel like.
Well, you're a baseball guy. You're a baseball guy. You think going from a sport that the ball's moving at you at 90, 95 miles an hour to something that's sitting in front of you, it'd be really easy. I get more frustrated than anything hitting a golf ball. It's like, this ball's sitting right here. I should be able to hit wherever I want. It never goes where I want to go.
And if you hit it once bad, like, it just gets worse because then you over everything. It was like I shanked one at Top Golf, and then I'm like, okay, one bad shot. So then I'm over shank.
I love playing golf, but it's frustrating as heck. It's so frustrating.
All right, man. I appreciate it tonight. And stay in touch and we'll definitely talk after that trip. That'd be a lot of fun.
Sounds good. Sounds
right,
good. I appreciate it, Mike. You have a good one, okay?
You too. Nice meeting you. Take care.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
All right. Bye-bye.